Look, at EB Research Partnership, we have one big, bold, audacious goal, right? Which is to treat and cure this disease, epidermolysis bullosa, EB for short, as quickly as possible. And one of the ways that you do that is to rally communities of people who can learn about the disease, who are in positions to support the research, and whether that's done at a university or clinical trials. Research funding is the biggest need that we have, right? If we can get the research funded, progress can happen, discoveries and breakthroughs can happen, and eventually treatment approvals. And that may start, with treatments that are step changes in the quality of life of people that battle EB. But our ultimate goal is to, have a definitive and curative treatment for all those 500,000 people around the world living with EB. So, when you have a rare disease, EB is one of 7,000 rare diseases, right? The biggest challenge is for people to be educated and aware of your rare disease and the stories of those children and families that face those rare diseases every single day. We know them very well, right? We talk to families and young people that battle this disease on a daily basis. We talk to the researchers that are in labs working countless hours to make that discovery and make that breakthrough. And we understand their work and the challenges that they overcome. We talk to the clinicians, that see patients in clinic and work, on the front lines of with the families and kids that battle this disease. So we know the stories. We wake up on our team at EB Research Partnership every single day motivated by the desires and the hope and the courage and the grit and the perseverance of all those families. So the least that we can do is carry that into our jobs to, advance treatments, to accelerate treatments from a bench in a lab to the bedside of a patient at breakneck speed, as quickly as possible. So, all that being said, if we're motivated by the stories that we hear from this community, our mission, our goal is to get others motivated and excited about what we do. So the bigger the platform, the bigger the reach, the more people that learn about this disease, the more we can reach that goal of awareness and funding for the science and for the research. We're really blessed and they're really lucky. We wish every rare disease had a group of parents like we have. Back in 2010, a group of parents got together and they said, we don't accept this fate. We don't accept no, clinical trials, no research being done, a bleak landscape. That's not okay with us. So we're going to organize a group and founded EB Research Partnership, and, not only brought together other parents, but business leaders and scientists and a scientific advisory board and a medical consortium and lawyers and philanthropists, of people in the team that could really accomplish progress in this disease. We were also lucky to, have high profile individuals, and Jill and Eddie Vedder. Eddie Vedder is the lead singer of the band Pearl Jam. His wife Jill and their family have been amazing ambassadors and really elevated the platform. They had one of their childhood friends, one of Jill's childhood friends, had a child named Mikey who was born with EB, and they learned about it and they said, look, how can we not, really leverage our platform to help and make a difference? So they came on as co-founders as the organization. So what a blessing, what fortune to not only have a really inspiring, motivated group of parents, but people with a platform of a big rock band and Pearl Jam with millions of people that could really elevate and get the word out and raise awareness about a disease that many people hadn't heard of. So it really started there. This event, Venture into Cures on November 18th. How do we get to that point? Well, a lot of innovation is born out of necessity, right? So we were sitting around last year, like many organizations, whether a nonprofit medical research organization like ours, or whether they run any range of businesses. Nobody planned for and put in their playbook that a global pandemic was going to happen, right? But it did, and so your choice there is to, try to adapt your playbook or throw the playbook out and come up with a completely new one, right? And we felt a deep commitment and responsibility to the patients and families that battle this disease every single day to not give up and not let the pandemic bowl us over. It's a minor thing compared to hours of bandaging and bleach bath and medical appointments and doctor's appointments that kids with EB go through every single day. So the least that we could do is dust ourselves off and say, how can we push through this, right? So You know, a lot of the ways that we fundraise in the past are in-person events across the globe. You can't do that. What can you do? So we started talking and came up with an idea. Hey, look, what if we do a digital event? Everybody's at home, you know, in the comfort of their homes. Everybody, you know, still has access to the internet. How can we reach them? So we started talking with Jill and Eddie Vedder and said, you know, look, not only are you know, patients with EB home, not only are our supporters home, but guess who's else is home? You know, musicians and actors and rock stars. You know, they're all home too. So how can we bring those things together? So we came up this idea of a digital so venture into cures. You know, what we learned last year is, you know, we were able to, you know, Eddie wrote songs about EB. He wrote 2 songs about the disease, which was just such an incredible gift to the EB community. You know, we were able to bring in Adam Sandler and Laura Dern and John Batiste and Andra Day and David Letterman and Jimmy Kimmel and Bradley Cooper and all these people that, you know, were home and they're learning about, you know, the cause and the disease, and they're saying, look, I mean, what motivates them when you learn about the stories of families with EB, you want to help. You know, you get it immediately. You know, it's a devastating disease. You see it right away. You can feel it right away. Whether you have kids or not, you know, you feel the pain that these parents go through, you know, needing to spend hours bandaging their children on a daily basis, and you want to help, you want to take action. So that is not necessarily unique to EB, but what is unique to EB and EBRP is, look, there's an end in sight for this, which you can't say about a lot of causes in the world, right? I mean, the leaders in this space, the key opinion leaders that are, you know, researchers and PhDs and MDs, they'll say, like, we have a real shot to cure this disease by the end of the decade. It's a monogenetic disease, oftentimes caused by one genetic mutation. We're funding, as an organization, EBRP, curative projects in gene editing and exon skipping and messenger RNA technology. You know, we've got a target to go after. So I think people are motivated by, you know, how, of course, devastating the disease is, but more importantly, how courageous and brave these kids and families are, combined with the fact that this is a solvable problem, not only in our lifetimes, but, you know, potentially by the time that 2030 hits. That's huge. And then you look at the business model of EBRP, which is, you know, we're not your grandparents' nonprofit. You know, we run a really innovative venture philanthropy model, which means we don't just fund research and write checks and hope for the best, right? We fund research, but just like any investor would, you know, is if there's commercial success, you know, there should be a share of that goes back to the foundation to fund more research until we cure the disease, and our shareholders are the patients, right? So whether we're funding research at a university, whether we're funding a public or private biotech, whether we're starting companies, you know, we've started 4 of our own companies with teams in the last 2 years. Either way, there's an upside. So if a return comes back, comes to the foundation to fund more research until we cure the disease, right? So those things are motivating to folks. What we learned last year is we did venture into cures. You know, we raised about double what we normally would at our normal sort of big event. We raised more than $2 million. We were able to reach over 500,000 people, which is quite a bit more than a couple hundred people in a room in a town in America. So, you know, not only did we widen the net of folks that stood behind this mission and this cause in this community, but we widened the net of people that supported and learned about this. It was a free event that anybody could watch from anywhere in the world online. You know, and because of the ambassadors, the celebrity ambassadors that came on board, so many people learned about EB and so many people got involved. So, you know, this year we couldn't be more honored. We couldn't be more thrilled to continue that momentum. We've got an amazing show, and I think most importantly, the people that are involved have big hearts and direct connections to this community. So it'll be hosted by Tom Holland, who many know as Spider-Man. We know him as just an amazing human being and an amazing individual, along with his family. You know, they founded something called the Brothers Trust, and they've been long committed and dedicated to the EB community. You know, they've met with families that the people that Tom has called friends have passed away from EB. They've helped families directly for years and years and years. Part of their mission is to help causes that are underrepresented and underserved, like rare diseases. So, you know, Tom will be hosting our show. He's brought in an amazing network of friends and ambassadors. So, you know, we'll have Tom on the show, Selena Gomez, Pearl Jam, Eddie Vedder, you know, just a phenomenal lineup. Jack Black, is on the show. Ed Sheeran and Brandy Carlisle, James Arthur, just great music, great hope, great comedians. And we're just so lucky and we're so blessed. And what we try to do and what we try to accomplish is, hey, come join us. It's free. Learn about this cause. Real rock stars, the real celebrities are the kids and families that share their stories on the show. So you'll see really uplifting, motivating stories of the families and young people that face this disease every day. We focus on hope. We focus on courage. We focus on really lifting, the people that fight this disease up as the real superheroes. Tom Holland is an amazing superhero on TV. The real superheroes are the kids involved with this show. We try to make it fun. There's jokes and levity and humor, amazing music, and really, a focus on our mission, which is to treat and cure this disease as quickly as possible, hearing from the community of people that are benefited from that mission, and hearing from the community of people that are making that mission possible, like the doctors, researchers, and nurses that fight so hard every day to deliver, that hope and healing to the EB community.